Hi there, my name is Chad Nicely. On today's show, we've got Dean Holland. Now, Dean Holland's probably one of the most successful coaches in the online marketing arena. We've also got his pal, Craig Crawford. So let's do it.
Okay, so we have Dean Holland. And Dean, I think you have Craig Crawford on the phone as well, on the line, right?
Yes, he should be there somewhere.
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, cool. How you guys doing, man?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Yourself?
Awesome, awesome. Couldn't be better. Love summer days, man. Nothing but sunshine. So where are you located first, Dean?
Well, I'm in the UK, so we don't get so much sunshine here, actually.
And I see that, are you in your office right now, or is this a studio? Where are you at?
Well, this is, I've just recently moved house, and you probably see all the kind of lights and things behind me. We've built a kind of video studio and home office at home. So I did have an office away from home, but it was too far away now. I've moved house, so we've built it here. So you can see a bit of the carnage behind me.
Yeah, I see you have a whiteboard and some of the lights there and everything else. I mean, I've been following you for a while. You take this business pretty serious, man. Very, very successful with what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then, Craig, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Where are you at, mate?
About how many miles would you say it is, Dean?
26 miles away from me.
26 miles away. Basically, back in the day, back in 2012, was it? I used to work for Dean as his right-hand man in his business.
Okay.
And then kind of 2 years later, went off on my own kind of path, and here I am now.
God help us all.
I tried to get rid of him, but he keeps coming back.
That's funny. So both of you, so you kind of mentored Craig then, right?
I guess in some ways you certainly, me and Craig go back a long, long way actually. When I was first trying to get this going many years back in to get this stuff going online, me and Craig was friends. We actually worked together in a bar, so many years ago. So that's how Craig first knew that I was doing this. And then when things did eventually take off, obviously Craig had been asking for a long time how things were going, and eventually the business had got to a position where I needed more help, and Craig was the perfect guy for it. And I think that obviously gave you a lot of experience, didn't it, Craig, being in that position as well? And it was time for Craig to do his own thing.
Craig in a bar. I can't imagine that. So
Craig not in a bar. I can't imagine that.
Yeah. So you're the one that's responsible for getting Crawford in the business then.
I guess in some ways. I've never really thought about it, but yeah, I guess in some respects. But no, Craig, does all his own thing. It was not really my influence. It's in some ways, but I guess I could take some credit, but credit to Craig.
Yeah, I'd say yes, because originally when Dean was telling me about all the different things he was trying and the potential of online marketing and obviously the results from it that he'd seen other people have, this was before Dean kind of exploded to who he is now. I was like, wow, well, there's all this money to be made. Like, I want to know more. So it kind of intrigued me. And then obviously I kind of went off and just kind of experimented. This is before Dean took me on, kind of making like AdSense sites and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to make niche websites pretty much.
Right. I think we all followed that path, man. I remember the days of AdSense and, all the SEO and backlinking and article writing, and I remember all that stuff, right? Niche sites, and I hated those days. So the thing is, I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in this business, a lot of BS, right? And I work very, very closely with Craig. I know that he's doing the amount of money that he says he's doing. I see it every single day. I've followed you for a long time. I've seen some of the stuff you do. I've seen your coaching program, your licensing program. I know you're killing it as well. So I just wanted to come out and say that for the record. that these two guys on the calls, they're not BSers. The amounts that they say they're doing, the income they're pulling in, absolutely verified and true. Because there is a lot of smoke and mirrors in this business, and there's the whole fake it till you make it mentality. Would you agree?
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the, I mean, like you were saying, it's a long, long time. So you've witnessed kind of the evolution of internet marketing industry as I have over the last 10 years. And I think it is a shame that there is so much of that in the industry. I mean, I can remember several years back, it was probably a lot worse than it is now. I don't know if Craig would have necessarily seen that at the time when he came into it, but it's been so bad. I mean, now, thankfully, I personally think, I don't know if people would agree or disagree, that there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, but I see it cleaning up a bit, thankfully. And I hope that trend continues, because there's some massive success to have online, and people just need to get the right information.
Yeah, so you came in this business in 2004, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so I created
that was the starting point for me, but it didn't go well.
Yeah, no, I created my first product back in 1998. And how I got into business is I clicked some banner promising to make me a millionaire, and I joined a program called the Cookie Cutter. Does that sound familiar?
Right, the name rings a bell, yeah.
Long time ago, man. I mean, I was using an autoresponder called SmartBot Pro, and ClickBank had just gotten started. Aweber didn't exist yet. There was no Google. Like, I was on AOL Instant Messenger. That's how I'd bring people into my program. And there was people telling me that they were building search engines and stuff. And I'm like, well, what the hell's a search engine, right? Like, no idea, right? I was just using AOL. But you talk about the evolution of marketing. Like, back then when you got started, it was churn and burn. It was go out there, sell this big high-dollar product or whatever, and it didn't matter if we ripped them off, if it was quality or not. It was all about just get the money as fast as you can, right? Because it was the term internet marketing had not yet been coined, right? And so I remember those days. And that's when the big gurus that we have today, that's when they really established themselves and built their lists, right? And then it kind of went into the whole webinar platform. And then you spent 2 hours watching a webinar, and then you were pitched for like $2,000, right? And then that kind of went aside, and then the WSO world came in, right? And then all of a sudden, we saw just amazing quality products and systems that were being sold for like $7, right? And that was all about lead gen, and that's when we got kind of strong with the back end and email marketing. That's when that really kicked off. And then from the WSO world, what we started seeing was WSOs that were self-hosted, right? So out of the Warrior Forum, but they were using affiliates from the Warrior Forum, right? And then the JVZoo world was established. Is that how you remember it?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, it's funny actually sitting back listening to it, because that is the timeline, isn't it?
But what's so amazing to me is marketers have figured it out. We have figured it out that it's not about the churn and burn. We have figured out that if we take care of that customer, the lifetime value of that customer far exceeds anything we were doing back in the day, right?
Very true.
And
very, very true.
Internet marketing, I don't even refer to it as internet marketing anymore. I call it online marketing. And if anybody ever asks me, what do you do? I say I'm an online consultant. I never use the word internet marketing, right? Because today, it's an online business, right?
Right, yeah.
And it's very legitimate, and I'm happy to see like all the flashy red headlines and that whole internet marketing scheme. I'm happy to see that, start fading away, because it's really cleaned itself up and it's looking very legitimate. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, definitely.
100%, 110%, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah. So, okay. So back in 2004, sorry, I went on a tangent. I do that. So you had a coach when you came in this business?
Not for a long, long time. When I first began in 2004, I just started buying ebooks, and if I remember rightly at the time, the typical ebook was about $77 or $97 then. It was very different.
Yep.
And I just kept buying these products. I was one of those quite typical stories in many respects in this industry. I believed all the hype. I believed that there was such a thing as push button success, and I fell for it all, to be honest, for a long, long time. And it caused me to get in a lot of debt. And that kind of cycle continued for about 4 years. And it was towards the end of 2008 where I finally joined a coaching program and actually got some real help, And that was the real turning point for me. That was the time I went from 4 years of not making a single cent online to getting some help. And I think I made just over $1,700 about 5 weeks later. So that was the difference that made,
Yeah, and I've had coaches back in the day as well. How about you, Craig?
I've never had a coach.
I mean, Dean was kind of your coach, though. He was your mentor, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so I kind of learned through the process of working for Dean. But I know moving forwards that as I grow my business, I'm going to need mentors myself. That's kind of something that I'm looking towards now because I want to take my business to the next level. So I'm just kind of looking of who's right for me and who can take my business further.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that, guys. Had a little glitch there with the technology, but that's okay. So yeah, Craig, you were saying that Dean was kind of your mentor, and I know how that worked. I was in a position where I had a mentor too, even though I was busting my ass helping him. Long story short, that was my coach in this business, right? And I learned to do a lot of the things that I use today. But do you guys find that most people have everything they need, they just can't connect the dots?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of my perspective on kind of what happens is people continually keep consuming more things, and it gets people so confused that they don't see the clear path. Because I can relate, to be honest, because I can think back to when I was in that position myself, and you become so confused with everything that you just can't see the simple steps. I mean, there are just a few straightforward things you need to be doing to build your business. But because there's so much out there, I think people can become lost, and it's easy to lose that clarity, and become so confused and fogged over with everything, and there's people pulling you in different directions, and you just need a set plan, really, people do.
The thing is, marketers are damn good. They're good at selling that dream, right? Even some of the software products, they're just good. And what I have found is that most people don't have that foundation built, right? You need to have that foundation built. You need to have your business in place with just a simple core components. And then it's okay to go out there and buy that software that's going to help you with SEO with your blog. It's okay to go out there and buy something that's going to get you more exposure on Facebook, right? So I used to tell people back in the day, don't buy software, don't fall for that shiny object syndrome. And now I've kind of changed my tone, and I'm kind of saying, you know what? It's okay to buy those things if you have a solid foundation in place where you can actually utilize those tools and you can make back your money and go into the profit zone at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. I think, if you look at some of the kind of trends in the industry now, like video, for example, you've got all these types of tools that create great videos. And, they create great videos. But I think the problem is people then just have all these videos and they're like, well, now what do I do? What do I do with my video? The video isn't just magically going to get a result. There needs to be a foundation, a plan behind that, like you say, perfectly.
Yeah, and so you need to have basic strategies in place. So let's just talk about, and both of you can jump in on this, let's talk about some of the core components that you need to have in place to have a successful online business.
Okay, well, I'll start off and then pass to Craig for him. First thing for me, biggest thing we've got to talk about is having an email list and a process to build that on a regular, daily, consistent basis. And for me personally, like I said earlier, I didn't get anywhere for 4 years. But in that time, I constantly heard the money is in the list. The money is in the list. That was all people kept saying. But I heard it so often that I actually didn't really give it attention. I just kind of, I know that, move on. But when I started to build my list, that's when I started to get results. And, now, the kind of the bigger my list has grown, the more value we give, the more the income goes up. It's been in a direct correlation with that. The more value we give to our subscribers, the more subscribers we have, the more money we make.
Right.
So that is, I'd say in my business, certainly, take everything off me, but just leave my list. Take everything. I can build everything else back up tomorrow. But
Right.
leave me my list because I know that will give me everything I need.
Right. And Craig, I know where you're at with your list, man. Like I think it's a fair statement to say your email list has changed your life. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's kind of the bread and butter of the hard work that you put into your business, because obviously you need to be able to build a list, obviously to bring through the affiliate commissions, and obviously to keep people updated with your products, or to reach out to people in the same kind of, like, say, on my email list, I have different email lists, so I can reach out to people who are affiliates of my products, or to, like I say, to sell products, to update people. Yeah, your emailing list is a very, very important part of your business.
Now, I think there's a facade out there that you have to create and launch products to build an email list, right? A lot of people, like when I get messages and Skype messages and everything, they say, look, I want to start creating and launching products. And I'm like, man, that's not as easy as you think it is. What's your reason for that? And it's always, I want to build a list. I want to build a list. Well, you don't have to create and launch products to build a list, right?
Correct. In fact, when I, like we mentioned earlier, things took off for me in 2008, I wasn't creating my own products. I was building my list, and that's the catalyst that got me making money, but I didn't own a single product of my own. And like you say, you don't need to. It's hard to put out a great product. It takes experience. It does. And but you don't need it. There's quicker and easier ways for people to start making money.
Right. So in addition to a list, what else do you need?
I'd say an online presence. I'd say that's one of the important things, whether it's down to a blog or a website, anything basically where people can kind of, like, so a blog, for example, you can keep connected with people, you can drive traffic to it. You're not going to be building a list unless you have an online presence, because obviously you need a website or your blogs or anything like that.
So now my blog used to have 2,000 ranking keywords. I was ranked number 43 for the keyword Make Money Online. I was ranked number 2 for the Warrior Forum. Anthony Ayers and I kept battling back and forth for that position. And I made a lot of money back in the day with my blog. And then Google went and introduced that penguin and that panda and everything. And overnight, literally my income from that blog was shut off. So recently, on the show, I've had some people who are experts with SEO and blogging and stuff like that. And what they're telling me today, because I was really sour with it. I was really heavy with paid advertising, Facebook advertising, and Google PPC and stuff like that, because I gave up on the whole blogging thing. And what they're telling me today is, Chad, you don't have to have X-Rummer and SE Nuke and pay to write articles, and you don't have to spin your text anymore. You don't have to do anything. It's actually became easier because Google has got rid of all the garbage, so it's not as competitive. Their algorithms are a lot easier. It's a lot easier to rank, and all you do is be natural with your content, your copy. You provide value, and you rank naturally. Now, is this true?
Yeah, I mean, speaking from my own experience, I've never, to be honest, focused on, like, doing keyword research, embedding, the long tail or short tail keywords throughout my blog posts, and doing all that typical SEO stuff. I've never done that with a blog, simply because the truth is, to start with, I didn't know about that when I started blogging. But even when I did learn about it, I always found if you were to focus on those things, you sacrifice the readability to real people reading your blog, and it becomes not so natural. And I think that's obviously over the years what Google's tried to phase out, because it was very unnatural for people just gaming the systems, if you like. So for me now, just focus on delivering the content, the value in your posts, in your material that you write, and it will naturally pick up people anyway. I remember, particularly, my first blog, it's still to this day, even though I don't actually post on that particular blog actively now, we still get certain posts that receive hundreds of visitors a month. Yeah. We never ever tried to rank them, and those posts are, from 2009, 2010, and they're still bringing in hundreds of visitors a month to that blog that's had no new content. I mean, it breaks all the rules of traditional SEO. It's had no new content for years. It's not embedded with keywords. It's got no plugins on there to optimize anything. You know,
Yeah.
it breaks all the rules really in that sense, but still brings in the free traffic.
So are you saying to use a blog mainly for lead generation or to actually make money from your blog? Like, what's your strategy?
My personal strategy with a blog is to not have it as a blatant money-making website, if you like, but instead, yes, you can have banners on there, but really, like we just spoke about a moment ago, the important thing is to get people onto your list. Now, what I love with a blog is it brings in what I would call like hot prospects, you know, because what I found, if people join your list from your blog, they're very much more responsive compared to, say, you know, I do a lot of things in my business like solo ads and other paid traffic, and nothing in our experience, nothing beats the quality of having somebody come onto your list, into your business, than via the means of, say, like a blog, where they've read some content from you. Because at that stage, if they've joined your list after that, they clearly like what you're about. There's clearly something about you that they thought, well, I want more from this person. And that's why they open your messages more, they pay attention, they notice your name amongst all the others in their inbox. And generally speaking, just the response and results from people coming in from that means is just, you know, far better.
Why? But here's where I just, like, sometimes, even to this day, I just sit back and I scratch my head. I'm like, I know the things you're talking about, I've done myself hundreds of times. I know they work. I know that if I have a blog and if I have a little opt-in in my widget area, or if I have a light box saying, hey, before you leave, you know, get my free report, whatever, I know this stuff works. And I know it's not hard to set up. What is the obstacle with people? Why don't they just do it?
I think, to be brutally honest, unfortunately, people don't stick at things long enough to see that result. People often are looking for the quick fix. And I think sometimes the problem is that people assume they've heard and seen everything there is to know about blogging, and they've possibly tried to set up a blog before and they didn't see the results. So it leaves people with a tainted impression of having a blog. But with how we do things, it can't fail. You know, it just works time and time again. I think the only reason a blog doesn't work is if you just kind of set it up and expect the masses to come. You know, if you just install a blog, set it up and do a post, you're not just going to magically see lots of things happening. You've got to do some marketing. You've got to put some effort in to get people to that content. You know, having a blog, great. Posting on there, great. Now we need eyes on that content in order to see the results.
Oh.
And I think that's sometimes where people start to struggle, because yes, they can set up a blog. They could go to fiverr.com and have it done today.
Yeah.
Yes, they can start posting, but then people get stuck because they don't see people coming. They don't get any comments, and then they get all disillusioned and think this can't work.
Yeah, you're about to bring up the big T word, aren't you?
The effectiveness in a blog is then getting people to it.
Yeah. So you're referring to the big T word.
The big T.
The biggest feared word in this business, right? But, I mean, traffic has been made to be such a beast. And what I have found is you don't have to have a lot of traffic, right? You have to take care of the traffic you have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's the thing. You know, everybody says it's all about getting more and more traffic. It's not. What are you doing with the traffic you already have?
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing with those visitors? What are the results they're getting you? And if they're not getting good enough results, why is that? What are you not doing?
Yeah.
You know?
See, if people would just sit back, be calm, take a deep breath, and just understand, I just need to have these core components in place. I need to have patience. I need to quit spending money on everything until I have that foundation in place. And I just need to monitor my results for a while. Their life is so much easier. It's not hectic. They're not going broke because they're trying every single strategy out there. I will completely agree with you. It is not hard to make money online. I hate using those words because of all the different, you know, it's so easy to do when you're calm and you just realize that most of the crap out there is BS. and I just talked to Peter Garrity about this the other day. You just need to have some core components, right? You need to have a way to generate leads. Like Crawford just said, you need to have some kind of presence online. You need to have some kind of traffic source. You absolutely need to build a list, right? So that you're able to communicate. You're able to build yourself up as an authority figure. You're able to make money, right? And you don't have to have a bunch of software and tools and plugins. This is coming from somebody that creates software for a living. But you got to have the core components. You got to have the strategy in place, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's not rocket science. Like, how long does somebody need to spend? Somebody brand new, okay, brand new to this business, doesn't even know what WordPress is, Dean. If they sit down with you and they say, okay, this all sounds great, sounds too good to be true. How much time and how much money do I need to spend every single day to make this happen? What would you say?
Okay, well, I always say to people, if you have, like you've just said, important, if you have a strategy, if you have a plan that you can actually just focus on and forget everything else and just focus on that one plan, then I've over and over again had students and clients that have built a business in an hour to 60 to 90 minutes a day. Now, we've actually got a client right now that's actually in Afghanistan and can only put in about 5 hours a month, and he's building his business. Because I think the thing is, people believe you have to be sat at your computer working hard 5 hours, 10 hours a day, and that's what it takes to get results. It doesn't. The reason people spend that long is because they don't know what they're working on. They don't have a plan. You know, when you have that plan, 60 to 90 minutes a day, working on that plan, forget all distractions, you can see progress. Now, obviously, the more you can put in once you have a plan, the faster you'll get to the end result. But a lot of people are starting out in this business because when they've already got full-time jobs, they've got a ton of commitments going on already. So it's important that you know what to do in the time that you've got. And it's not, you mentioned money as well, it's not about having a huge budget. You know, yes, it does take money. I'll be honest, some people say you can start a business online for free. I think, that's smoke and mirrors again in itself. This is real business. It does take, there's certain things. We've spoke about list building. You need an autoresponder. You're going to need hosting. There are expenses to this business. But if you compare that to any other business, I've never encountered anything that's such a low startup and operation costs of an online business. So you don't need a ton of cash. If you can cover the basics just to get you going, autoresponder, hosting, and maybe a little bit of money if you need help with certain things, like setting up a blog. You're looking at, what, $50, $100 a month in basic startup costs to have the essential things in place. Sorry, Craig, was you saying something? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, there's, to begin something like that, there's only 3 things that you really need, as far as I'm aware: domain name, hosting, and autoresponder.
Yeah.
And hosting... Sorry. What's hosting? $10 a month if you get like a baby package that you only need to begin with. Your autoresponder, what's that? Another $6 to $10 a month when you're beginning, and a domain name which is $7, and that lasts a year.
So take us through the cycle of a new student. Okay, I want to make sure everybody understands this. All right, you bring somebody fresh. They get their domain name, they get their hosting set up, they get their WordPress blog set up, they got their autoresponder set up, their follow-up series. They're good to rock and roll, right? They follow your steps. Obviously, if people haven't figured out, you're a very well-respected coach, okay? I know your students are very successful. I've seen some of those stories. Matter of fact, are you able to share some of those stories here in a minute? Do you have those around?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, Chad, I don't know if this is the right time or not at this very moment in time, but just to throw it out there, are we doing the live giveaway on the 4th?
You want to give some stuff away, huh?
Yeah. Let's give some stuff away.
yeah. It wouldn't be the show without it. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm really interested in what you're saying. Because I'll be honest with you, I put a ton of work into my business, right? And there's a part of me, even though I'm doing the show and launching products and everything, there's a part of me that remembers back in the day when I first figured this out, before I really took things to the next level, how easy things were for me back in the day. And I'm really looking back going, man, I could go back to the basics and just have more time, spend more time with my kids, and not have to do the show, not be launching products and everything. I would be just fine, making a very, very decent income, more than most people make working a 9-to-5 job, 5 days a week, working banker hours, right?
Yeah.
And that's the honest to God truth. So I mean, I'm really into what you guys are saying here, and I'm thinking really hard, and I'm just like, just reliving things here. And it's interesting because I've never actually had somebody on the show where it was all about coaching and getting back to the foundations. We're always all about software and the latest platforms coming out, right? So this is very interesting for me. But getting back to what I was saying, somebody comes on brand new. They've got everything in place. They're doing everything that you instruct them to do. What is the typical results that they're going to see, like immediately within 3 months, 6 months? And then can you just kind of put that expectation out there so people understand?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got this kind of, the core aspects of this process that we put people through is to basically get people set up, established online quickly. So when we start working with people in this process, they have a presence within 7 days. They've got something online, they've got a presence, they've got a place where people can get to know them, join their list, things like that. So that happens quickly. And we get that in place very, very early on. And literally within kind of the second week, we have people put the things in place and have everything ready. So they're ready to actually start building that important list we spoke about earlier. Okay, so we're all about fast pace, not getting things perfect, not getting everything spot on and crossing the T's. We want things in place as quickly as possible. And if mistakes happen along the way, great. It means you're taking action, right? And that's how we look at things. Just get it out there, get it going. So really quickly, within a 2-week period, people are established online. They're all set up, ready to start building that list. Because what we tend to then move on to as quickly as we can is the fuel for the engine, as it were. The big T word, like we said earlier, is traffic. So that happens again. We're talking a 3-week period going from absolute zero to being established, set up to build their list, and actually starting to drive traffic and seeing those subscribers growing already. That's 3 weeks. Now, when you're doing that, we're not just building a list for fun. We're not driving traffic just for the heck of it. We're doing it to attract a targeted audience and give that audience what they need. And we'll get paid for that by selling products as an affiliate. That's the easiest way to go about things we spoke about earlier. It's not easy, especially when starting out, to create and sell your own products. So we're going to remove that resistance and remove that problem and just go for the quick route. Selling affiliate products. You've got JVZoo, ClickBank, Warrior Plus. There's many platforms out there and so many great products. Let's give them to people that need them and get paid a commission. And that is a 4-week process. So this is very fast-paced, very orientated on fast results, to be truth.
So that's not an easy thing, though. Everybody thinks, you just go sign up for a JVZoo account, you sign up for a ClickBank account, and you just, get approved to, sell this product, and you go out there and you start selling it. There's more to it than that, just that. You know what I mean? And that's where I see a lot of people.
There's products in hundreds and hundreds of niches, right? And within each of those niches, there's a sub-niche, and then there's 1,000 products within that. So like you say, there's more work involved than the overview there. But essentially, say for example, one of the things I've done in the past, I had a free gift that I gave away that was about blogging. So it was me teaching in a free report that I gave away how I set up a blog. So people opted into my list to get that report. So the simple way to think about things is, what are my audience interested in? Well, in that instance of me doing that, I know they're interested in blogging because that was the main aspect, but also what are they also going to be interested in? If somebody wants a blog, well, they need to know about list building, they need to know about traffic, and there'll be many other things within that. So now, when I'm looking for a product to sell to my audience in that example, I'm going to look for something that I know they actually are interested in and I know they're going to get help and value from. So now instead of looking at all these hundreds of different niches and all these thousands of products, I'm now just going to center in on the main thing, like a blogging training video course, for example. I know that if my subscribers that got my free blog guide got their hands or got the opportunity to buy an in-depth video course that was more in-depth blogging strategies, the likelihood is a percentage of those people will want that product.
Man,
So I just look at it as simple as I can in that respect.
you guys have definitely sold me on this, and that's hard because I don't have any time, and I know everything you're talking about, but even people who are established, man, it's those one or two things that you did not know, that you did not implement in your business, that make all the difference in the world, right? So even like somebody like me, I'm going to go back through, we'll talk about what you're going to offer here. I'm going to be attending that as well and see if I can pick up just one or two golden nuggets, right? So from what I'm hearing, if you're a complete beginner, then you're the one tackling the beginners. That's not a job for everybody. That's very hard to do. You have to have a lot of patience, and you really have to be a motivating factor in those circumstances, right? That's not a job for me. I like working with people that are experienced. But then you take the veterans, the people that have been doing this for a while or whatever. I don't think it's going to hurt to jump in there and watch what you guys are doing. And maybe, there's just one or two things that you show me that I'm like, holy crap, that could make all the difference in what I'm already doing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing, right? Like for people starting out, perfect, ideal. But also, I mean, like yourself, Chad, I've been in this business a long time. And for me, if I look back over the years, even when I've been making a very successful full-time living online, there's been times where I felt very confused, like things are getting too complicated in my own head. And I feel like, when did things get so hard? Or when did things get so complex?
Yeah.
So for somebody looking at this process, even as like a veteran, experienced marketer, it can bring them back to the simplicity. It can kind of strip away that confusion, and all of a sudden you think, why am I overcomplicating everything so much? These are the basics, but these are the things that get the results. And we've seen that many times when we do this, is that there are people that, kind of get this relief over them because it's like, oh, I feel better all of a sudden. I was getting all confused. I was doing this, and doing 1,000,001 things because people like to overcomplicate stuff. We all know that. So to then look at what is really quite a very straightforward, basic process in some respects, but it just works. And sometimes it takes that fresh approach, doesn't it, to kind of take a step back and look at something in simplicity and say, this is what I need to be doing. Forget everything else.
Yeah. Somebody asked me the other day, and it really caught my attention. They said, Chad, they said, do you work to live or do you live to work? Right? And I'll tell you right now, I'll tell you something I've never said on this show before. I'm an individual that lives to work, and it's just because I've been sucked into this thing that I have so much going on, and now my mind is to the point where I just think this is how things are supposed to be. And if I'm not running, 1,000,000 miles an hour, always working on something in my online business, then I'm not comfortable. Like I can go to a movie and sit there at a movie, and I'll start thinking about things I need to do before I get out of the movie. That's a bad position to be in, because the truth is I'm not making any more money in the process. I'm really not, right? It's all mental mindset, and it goes back to, you just need to have that solid foundation in place, and that foundation is not complicated. You need a traffic source, you need a presence online, you need an email list, you need something to sell them that converts, period. Everything else, this show, right? We're doing this show so that I can provide value, so that I can recommend your product, which is an amazing product. We need to talk about that here in a minute, right? And what am I going to do? I'm going to send it to my list, right? I'm doing the same exact thing, except I'm using a different command, or I'm using a different online presence, right? I'm using this show, which is video, right? But I could do the same exact thing. I could do an interview with you, and I could have put it on my blog, right? Could have done the same exact thing. I'm doing everything that you are suggesting, only I'm making it very difficult on myself, right?
Yeah, very true. But like you say, when you do take a step back, all of a sudden you realize, actually, I'm doing all these things, but I'm making more work for myself doing them.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, all right, everybody, I'm pretty sure they're pretty excited, and they're thinking, I think this is probably something I can do, and I'm willing to put the time and effort into it. And he's making it sound pretty good. What do you got? What's the offer here?
Okay, so we've basically got a coaching program, a very different type of coaching program in many respects, called the Quick Start Challenge. And it's something we've done each year, once a year. This is only around once a year for a very short period of time. And we basically open this up to people, and it's a 4-week live coaching class. So every week we'll be on a webinar. And what we do on those webinars, we spend a good amount of time delivering the training. And then for the kind of final section of each webinar, we set a challenge. And that's where the name comes from. Now, these are very simple challenges. Just before, I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression. These are very simple, straightforward challenges. And with each challenge that you complete each week, you'll see progress and see results. Okay, so for example, week 1, people will be set up, established with a presence online, doing things in a very simple, straightforward way that anybody can do. You know, anybody. I mean, if today was your first day online, you can do this, right? It's that straightforward the way we teach it. Now, the second week, time to get everything in place to build your list. So people will have their squeeze pages, they'll have a free high quality product to give away, and the building blocks for that will be put in place within 2 weeks. All right, then the big T, we turn on the traffic then. And we've got, I think we spend quite a lot of time on that because this is such an important topic for any online marketer. This is such an important thing, is traffic. So we've actually got several traffic generation methods, and we do free traffic and paid traffic because not everybody has the funds to do paid traffic. Not everybody wants to do paid traffic, and likewise, not everybody wants to do free. So we cover both. You know, we've got several things, and one of the things I won't spoil it too much here, but one of the things we're really excited to share for the very first time, we haven't shared this anywhere else, is a very exciting Facebook ad strategy we're using. Because in this industry, people are getting, you know, it's very kind of topical right now that people are struggling to get their ads approved. People are having their Facebook ad accounts shut down. And we've found something that is really, really powerful. It's based around giving immense value without selling anything really, but yet making a lot of money, building lists, making money. So that's one of the big things we can't wait to share in that section.
So are you using Facebook to build leads?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to say right now, that to me is worth joining your training alone, because I just put out a lead capture page the other day, Dean, and guess what? 3% opt-in rate. I spent all day making that page. Just thought I had the most amazing page, broke every rule in the book, right? It's all about test, test, test. I didn't do any of that. I just thought, you know, this is going to rock. I put it out there, spent $60, 3% opt-in rate. I'm like, huh, what just happened, right? There is, and I probably made it too complicated, right? I already know that. So I'm looking forward to that part of your training, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it is, honestly. It's a very exciting thing. We're about to put that together as a quite an expensive course, that alone, but we've decided what the heck, let's give it away in the Quick Start Challenge. And then if you look at where people will be at, having gone through the first 3 weeks of the challenge, they'll be established, set up, ready to build their list, starting to drive traffic and seeing their list building. Then we're going to talk about in the final week, monetizing. So how do you actually become a successful affiliate online? How do you choose the right products? How do you find recurring income streams so that you build up recurring income as an affiliate? How do you promote those to your subscribers that people will be building? How often do you promote? We're going to cover everything that I know that was in my head starting out when I first started doing it, and I've seen that with a lot of our students. So we answer all those questions, and people will actually be going out there making commissions during the challenge. And like I say, we've done this every year for 3 years, and not a single time that we've done this challenge, there has never yet been a challenge that we've done for the last 3 years where people haven't been getting traffic, building their list, and even making money before the 4 weeks is up.
So here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm glad we spent a lot of time discussing the strategy and the foundation and exactly what you're delivering, because I'm scared half to death to say what I'm about to say. So I just want to put this out there first. You are going to deliver this content on a webinar live. This is not already done, and then you're going to have a quick start challenge, right? So you're pretty much coaching people, but it's like a group coaching format. Is that a fair way to say that?
Correct. Perfect. Yeah.
And then they're going to have this challenge, very basic challenge, where you're basically putting them in a position where they're going to see results. Because I know When people start seeing results, then they continue. But if they don't see results, then they bail and they go on to something else, right? That's been my experience with my coaching students. And so the reason why I'm saying this, and Crawford, this is where you come in, is because I'm scared half to death, because I know I could have done a webinar with you right now, Dean. We could have just sold a $997 product, right? There is so much value. There's so much money that can be made in this business with a very small investment. And this is going to open up the doors for so many other people, right? They're going to go into so many other things because of the foundation that they're learning to build, and they're able to do it in a calm, organized manner, right? And you're going to help them see results. The reason why I'm saying this is because I don't want people to think that there's not quality and value in this product. But Dean, how much are you selling this for?
10,000. No. Basically, drum roll, it is just a one-off investment of just $19.95.
See, I didn't even want to. I when you told me the price, I'm like, I don't even know if it's worth doing the show, right? Because it's one of those things where we just provided all that value, and it's like, and you're asking $19. How do I tell my audience that there's real value here, right? Because that price is insane, right? But to me, based on everything that we've just said and the knowledge and the information you've already provided, this is equivalent to some of those courses that I've paid, $1,997 for back in the day, right? And I didn't get results because it was up to me to log into a membership area and watch 100 damn modules, not interact with anybody, not have a coach, not have a mentor. So, of course, I'm going to go on to something that I think is easier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think, one of the things people always ask me, two questions. One, why do you do it so cheap? And two, how do you get so many people to actually take action? Because we do, the internet is flooded with people from the past Quick Start challenges that have got results. And firstly, let me cover both of those just for your audience benefit here. Why do we do it so cheap? Well, basically this is the I only do one product launch a year. I do other things in my business, so I don't launch products all the time like I know a lot of people do. So I do this once a year. Right? And this, for me, the Quick Start Challenge is all about giving back. I know what it's like to be struggling. I spent 4 years in a very bad situation trying to get started in this business. And I know that if I had a proven plan to put my energy into, I would have seen results a lot quicker. So this is about me giving back to people that are stuck like I used to be. Okay? It's not about charging thousands just to get in to give that help on this program. Second of all, how do we get people getting such great results? Well, first of all, you're part of a big community of people that are all driven to take action in the program. But second of all, we actually give away, this is again a shocking thing based on the investment to join, we actually give away between myself and Craig $20,000 of prizes to participants during the challenge. So just for completing the tasks that will get results for people, we actually give them prizes just for completing them. Last year, for example, we gave people scholarships into one of my $5,000 programs. And that, again, transformed everything. People were excited to take action, but the byproduct of people taking action, yes, it's great to try and win a prize, or it's great to be rewarded, but people build their business because they do the things that we teach. So everybody wins, really, and I think this makes for such an exciting program for everybody.
All right, so we're coming up on an hour. So speaking of winning, let's have our giveaway. You said you wanted to give away some copies. All right, let's do that. And then can you just really quickly go through some of the success stories that you've had with the program?
Yes, absolutely. Shall I share my screen
here?
Yeah,
and then also I want to talk about, you have OTOs as well, right, guys?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Craig, do you just want to talk about that just while I start sharing my screen? You can share that?
Perfect.
So yeah, and basically, when it comes down to it actually being a quick start challenge, we want people to get kind of up and running as soon as possible. So obviously the easiest way is to give people kind of pre-made and kind of pre-done stuff so people can actually kind of get involved and not have to kind of worry about like the kind of the nitty-gritty parts. So basically, and just to point out, if people are struggling with WordPress, we do within the members area as well, we have a WordPress tutorial section, so people can actually join, jump on one of the pages, which is the WordPress tutorials, and go through the different tutorials to teach them more. So you're not alone in that aspect either. And also, when it comes down to learning, in the community that we have, everyone is so helpful with each other. It's kind of competitive in a way because everyone wants to get the best results to win like the top prizes and stuff. But ultimately, because it's a group environment and everyone's all like-minded individuals on the same kind of path, they all help each other out. And that's kind of the beautiful thing that we've created here, and it's nothing like I've ever seen. So yeah, going back to the kind of the first kind of one-time offer that we have, it's basically we have a 25 squeeze page bundle, and bearing in mind this is for only $9.95. This is cheap as possible because we want to get you off the ground as soon as possible. We don't want you kind of having to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars, because this is all about giving back. But obviously we have to invest into designers and to people to kind of create things, so we have to obviously put a fee on this.
Wait. So like $995?
No, $9.95, $9.95.
Okay, wait. Don't you know how a funnel works? The OTO is usually more than the front end offer, right?
This is the thing. Yeah, it's all about giving away. This is giving back. This is.
Okay, so they're gonna spend $20 on the front end offer and then $9.95 for the first OTO.
Yeah.
Okay, and then do you have another OTO after that?
Well, we haven't finished on the OTO yet.
Okay.
Because that was just the first part. We basically move on to people obviously need to start building their list and stuff. So we've got there's kind of a bundle that's in the first OTO, which is a 15 report and ebook giveaway bundle. So people can kind of build their list using that. We also have article archives because people want actual content to give away. So they can either use that, or they can kind of build their own around the articles just for inspiration and just to help everything kind of look better within their business. I have designers, as you know, and we're giving away, it's called the Pro Marketers Graphics Package Bundle. And that's where they get kind of buttons, kind of things for anything, really. There's so many things in there, like we're literally blowing people away. And when I told affiliates and people about what we're actually giving away, same kind of reaction as you, Chad. They were like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're nuts. So then and this is kind of the final thing as well, is we're giving away a pre-written email sequence bundle, and that's obviously, people can either use that themselves or they can kind of restructure it or kind of work off that as well. So that's the first OTO.
Yeah, so just to give you guys a heads up, I just spent $35 the other day just to buy an email sequence, right? I know email very well, right? I know how it works, but still, it's like I just mentioned, there's that one or two things that you don't know that makes a dramatic difference in your business, right? So I just spent $35 the other day on just an email sequence alone. No coaching, none of this other stuff that you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. And literally, there's hundreds of dollars worth that our designers and coders have created things. There's we've got an exclusive fast action bonus, we call it, and we're not going to announce it on here. If you jump on the page and you want to take action, which you should be doing, you will see those bonuses in there anyway.
Okay, cool. And so how much is the second OTO?
The second OTO is it's $14.95.
All right, so just quick recap. The front end offer, which was a coaching program, the group webinars was $20. Your first OTO, $9.95, which I think after the call, Craig, you and I need to have a talk about sales funnels. and then your second OTO is $14.95. So both your OTOs are less than your front end offer.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But the reason why is because basically this is an ongoing thing. So this is $14.95 per month. But the reason why that is because we actually employ people to go out and create things and to kind of dig into different areas to kind of retrieve stuff that will help people's businesses in the future. So it's kind of an investment into the future as well. So it's kind of going to be building something that they can use time and time again, doing whatever they like, when they like, with whatever we're bringing back. And it's going to be kind of content and graphics and little plugins and stuff to help people's businesses. Also, we're going to be giving like away recording, webinar invites and the recordings to those, graphics, green screen background, you name it. We're going to have so many different things that we're going to kind of be giving away to help people build their business with. And that's on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, so if you add up your front end offer and your two OTOs, and if you take the whole combined price, even if you took the $14.95 a month for 12 months, even if you figured out that amount, if you add all this up, you're still so much more less than coaches out there are charging online on Facebook and everything else. And I don't ever see people get results from those coaches, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the kind of thing that we realized in the past is we kind of figured out, because we still touch base with the people who have completed the challenge in the past. In fact, people who are kind of friends now, not just obviously clients of ours, they've contacted us because they know there's a third one coming out. And the first thing they say is we're joining in on this one. Even though they've done it in the past, they do it again because they enjoy the community. It's fun. They can get results. It helps push them even further. And obviously they want the prizes as well, because when there's $20,000 worth of prizes out there, it kind of spurs people on to take action. And obviously it's something to aim for. But
cool.
We've got a third OTO, which is kind of something that people have actually asked us for, you see. So this was something that it kind of didn't even occur to us until we were asked for it by our people.
This one's going to be like a $6 OTO, isn't it?
No, it's $47.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, this one's $47, and this was something that our customers asked for, and that's because obviously we take them through this course where it takes them from A to Z, and it kind of gets them up and running. But then they sell their affiliate products, but they're so passionate about the Quick Start Challenge, they wanted to be able to sell the Quick Start Challenge themselves. Because obviously they know, well, they're the proof's in the pudding. We've got so many success stories, so all these people wanted to be able to sell the course themselves. So we've kind of brought out, it's called the Quick Start Challenge Reseller Package. And basically it's it's the recordings from the live training and stuff. And we give all the resources and things as well, so people can make money selling the course that taught them so much and got them to where they are.
Sweet. So it's not just an affiliate offer then. They get to resell it for
they get 100% of the money.
100%. Yeah, so it's like a license deal.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's awesome. All right, guys, let's give some stuff away. You want to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's roll the live giveaway. Okay, so yeah, we got 2 minutes on the screen. So if you're not familiar with the live giveaway, all you need to do is go to entrepreneurlive.tv/winner. Go ahead and get registered, and you're eligible to win all of our giveaways. So when we have fine individuals like Mr. Dean Holland here and the infamous Craig Crawford, and they say, hey, Chad, we want to give some stuff away, well, you're automatically eligible because you're a part of this membership. And the nice thing is you don't have to watch the show. You could be sound asleep in your bed over there in the UK, and you can wake up to an email that says, hey, congratulations, you just won this really cool deal. There's no catch. There's no work involved. You just be a part of this membership, and we could very easily go and pull your name out of it. There's a lot of other perks involved as well. But, Dean, why don't you tell them what we're giving away today?
Yeah, so basically we're giving away places into the Quick Start Challenge. So you'll essentially win the entire 4-week coaching program, 100% free. You'll get to attend everything. You'll get all the recordings. You'll get everything just like every other participant in this year's challenge will get.
Sweet. And so they're going to have immediate access. They're going to get to attend the first webinar and everything else.
Absolutely, right from the very beginning. So we'll get working with you and start building your business.
Yeah,
set those challenges each week.
This is just one of those deals. Like when I first started talking to you guys, I mean, I love Crawford, man. We work close together. I'm getting to know you, Dean. But this is one of those deals where I'm just like, how am I going to show my audience? How am I going to show my subscribers the value, with what you guys have here, with the prices that you're asking? I'm just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. It's one of those things that, you start saying, well, that's too good to be true. If it was that good, they'd be, asking more money. And it's a very interesting model. And I know this model very well. I know it works, right? And I know that you guys are providing tremendous value. So anybody that's saying that in their head, because I know there's a lot of people, right? Get past that. That's a mental block. and just understand the value that you provided on this call alone, Dean, and the strategy, the basic foundation that you set up, somebody could actually take action from this call alone and have a successful business. They got their $19 on this call alone, right? So I know that you guys are going to rock the house with this deal, and I'll be there myself. So let's find out who our winners are, bud. Go ahead and click that button.
Let's do it.
All right, so the first winner of the Quick Start Challenge is Dan Bauman. Dan Bauman. Congratulations, Dan. Let's do it again, Dean.
Good stuff, Dan. Well done. Here we go again.
Nation.
All right, here we go. Our second winner is Nathan Olnick. Congratulations,
Nice.
Nathan. You are the winner of the Quick Start Challenge. You got one more, Dean. Make it a good one. There's the
Got
charm.
one more. Good luck, guys.
One more.
Good
Let's
luck.
do it. And our third final winner is John Lee Fisher. John Lee Fisher, you just picked up the Quick Start Challenge. So Dan Bauman, Nathan Olnick, and John Lee Fisher, congratulations. And that's how we roll the live giveaway. Cool. All right, Dean, thank you so much for doing that. Craig, thank you as well. I'm going to ask you both this final question because we're out of time. What would you say to somebody that's, been faced with these mental obstacles before, tried different things, tried to find success in business, just hasn't found it? They recognize that they do have the shiny object syndrome and they probably don't have that foundation in place. What would you say to somebody that's struggling there?
Yeah, great question. And to be honest, I've been there myself. That was what the situation I was in for a long, long time. And it's not a nice feeling. You can feel very kind of alone, very kind of desperate, very almost frantic trying to get that result. And unfortunately, that state of mind is not going to get you there. There is a specific sequence of or specific set of things that you need. There is a specific kind of path that you need to take to get those results. Unfortunately, there's a lot of products out there that are just kind of like we spoke about earlier, smoke and mirrors, and will lead you down different paths that ultimately still take you away from the foundations and fundamentals you need. All right. So sometimes, unfortunately, we have to take one step back in order to go forward successfully. And for anybody in that position, that's exactly what we want to do, people, is remove all that overwhelm, remove all the frustration, and make it so clear and so simple that it becomes exciting once again.
Awesome. Craig, any last words?
Definitely, yeah. The way that I kind of began my business, and I know how things work because obviously I worked with Dean in the past, and the thing that I found is people fail to be consistent and persistent, and that's kind of stuck with me. People, they find one way of doing things, but like we spoke about earlier, they didn't actually follow through with it because they didn't see results as quickly as they'd like. So I think persistence and consistency is one thing that people kind of need to be focusing on. Find a plan of action and just execute that and stick at it till you get results. It's like the Quick Start Challenge. The reason why that works so well is because we incentivize people, kind of make it fun, and because there's a community around it, there's kind of accountability between everyone, so people actually stick to the plan and get results. And that's where people fail most of the time, is by not following through and being kind of consistent.
Great advice. I will definitely be a part of this myself. I'm looking forward to it. Plus, I want to see how you deliver. Again, I think you guys are crazy, but the Quick Start Challenge launches on the 26th. Something around $15 for the front end. I think the OTO was $9.95. Then there was a second OTO that was like $15, and I think there was a third OTO like $47, right? I'm just shooting from the hip here, right? I mean, there's such minimal amounts. I don't even need to look at my notepad, right? You guys are just giving away the house. So, hey, thank you so much for coming on the show. I want to wish you all the best with the launch, and I definitely look forward to seeing this Quick Start Challenge and seeing what I can pick up and implement in my own business as well.
Great stuff. Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. It's been great.
Cool. Craig, thanks for coming on the show, man. I'm glad I finally had you.
It's always good to speak to you, brother.
Okay, man. And everybody else that's watching the show, thank you so much, and we'll see you on another session of Entrepreneur Live. Hi there, I'm Chad Nicely. I'm the host of the show that you just got done watching, Entrepreneur Live. If you notice throughout the show, there was a news ticker that scrolled at the bottom that it really encouraged you to join our membership. I just wanted to take a minute and tell you exactly what's included in that membership. For starters, we are privileged to special offers, products, and promotions. We can offer these to you at a substantial discount. Not only that, a lot of these opportunities usually come with exclusive bonuses. Well, when you're a part of that membership, you are the first to be notified when these promotions hit the market. Not only that, we run special webinar trainings all the time. Matter of fact, we have the Entrepreneur Live Power Session. If you're a part of this membership, you will receive an exclusive invite to that. That's where I answer any questions you have about being a successful online entrepreneur. We do it once a week. So you definitely want to be a part of the membership for that reason. In addition to that, we run special webinar promotions. When a product hits the market and it's blazing hot, well, I'm going to take the time and do a webinar, even if it's 6 o'clock in the morning for me. I'm going to show you exactly how that product works and how it's going to benefit you in your business. So when you're a part of the Entrepreneur Live membership, well, guess what? That's included. But probably the best part of all, this is why everybody has joined this membership, is because we give away the house. Every single time we do a show, every single time we do a webinar presentation, well, guess what? We're always giving stuff away. And my guests are always giving stuff away. It can be the front-end product. It can be a coaching program. The list goes on and on. I've actually seen guests give away the whole entire funnel. And all you got to do is be a part of that membership. The good news is you don't even have to be live on the call. You don't even have to be watching the show. You can be sound asleep in your bed. We can be over here doing the show in the States, and you can wake up to an email that says, hey, congratulations, you just won this really awesome deal. And there's one more perk. When you're a part of the Entrepreneur Live membership, you're going to receive an exclusive invite where you can watch our interviews live. That means you can see all the bloopers, you can see all the mistakes, everything that happens live, and we do screw up before we go and polish the actual tape. All right? Great opportunity. Entrepreneur Live is where it's happening. You should see a button down below this video. The membership is currently free. There's no enrollment fee, so there's no reason why you would not go and join this membership. I want to thank you so much for watching the show today, and hopefully I'm going to be seeing you on another session of Entrepreneur Live. Thank you.